Allow me to introduce to you the Honourable Minister of Culture, Honourable Babsy Grange, after she done shake everybody hand. Welcome, Minister.
I just want to catch my breath.
Are you see this, you know? Those it off nice and wide for you.
I've been running from morning, and I'm a sprinter.
Understand. They say you look like you sweat upon them things, man. I'm big running there, man. I was see the whole of people have whole heap of things for ask you and get you into some lovely conversation.
I must confess that prepare some notes for me and it don't reach me yet.
Okay.
All right?
Well, you run faster than the notes them. Yeah, man.
We can talk.
Minister Grange, everyone.
So, hello everyone. I'm Olivia Grange, Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, but everybody calls me Babsy. And I'm not only minister, but I'm part of the industry. Kind of say I'm born and grow in it. Product of West Kingston, where the music was born. And I have been a part of the history of the development of the music. And eventually I entered politics because I felt that the industry and the sector needed a voice at the table. And so I'm the voice. So when the sector at this time is critical of government, it's also critical of me. Although persons in the industry say when they say things, they don't mean me, or it's not directed at me. But I want to say that although I wear two hats, sorry, my phone is ringing and it's disturbing. So, although I wear two hats, it's sometimes very difficult to balance it. Because I think as members of the music industry and the creative sector, that we all have individual responsibilities. We can't be jack of one individual, can't be jack of all trades, because it's a specialized industry. And we also have a responsibility, not only the fact that we are performers and we are active in the industry, doing a number of things, we also have a responsibility to ensure that we contribute to the development of our sector and to our capacity building. IMC is a perfect example of what the sector should do. And I want to commend Shaggy, Sharon Burke, and Judith Bodley for this initiative. Now, by virtue of my age and being involved in the industry before they were, the first such music conference that was held in Jamaica was organized by me. And that conference brought in many personalities from overseas. I think at that time, Mtume was alive. I don't know if anybody in this room is old enough to know who Mtume is. We brought in Kendall Minter, who I'm sure a lot of you know, as an attorney. And a number of other personalities. And it was on that occasion, for example, Third World, the discussion started with Third World to be signed. And a number of things came out of that. Today, the reality is that the next generation of Jamaican stars, some in particular, have done so well in a short time because their music, the young people vibe and the music has taken on a particular direction. And certainly with the internet and social media and so on, they, I would say, have become a little more independent. And in some instances, they may not think they need to know. But it is important that we're in a sector that we know what we have to do, how to protect our works, how to make sure that we maximize the opportunities that exist in the industry. The world is our stage right now. Jamaican music has evolved over the years, starting from what I would call the early traditional forms of Jamaican music. Our music is primarily strong African base, with a mix of other cultures. The strongest of our African retentions is Kumina. And when you slow down Kumina, you get Nyabingi. We have Mento as our first popular music. And most people think Mento is Calypso, but it's not. Mento is Mento and was our first popular music. And then we have our Afro-Christian music, which is revival, which again, if you listen to the DJ on the rhythm, you are listening to revivalists chanting and creating a rhythm with their feet and guttural sounds. And the music has evolved to the point now where from ska to rocksteady to reggae, which reggae is now not just a genre, but also a generic term when you refer to Jamaican music. So the sounds of Jamaica have been around a long time. I mean, the days of Harry Belafonte. So Jamaica has contributed tremendously to music throughout the world. And of course, we gave the world a musical icon, many musical icons, foremost of which is Bob Marley. And we gave the world a new religion in Rastafari. We also gave the world a music that is used to express absolutely every single emotion you can think of. And it has impacted on many people's lives across the world. And I got proof of it when I went to UNESCO, when we nominated reggae to be inscribed on the intangible list of humanity. I remember 2 weeks before we went to Mauritius, I was advised by UNESCO that they would not approve our nomination. And I said to my team, I'm not prepared to take that. We're going to go to Mauritius and we're going to take it to them on the floor. And we went prepared, and we got the support of absolutely every single country that was represented at that conference. It was for us an achievement, and it was an achievement for the world that love reggae music. I saw people of all nations, tears, because they were so passionate and so concerned that reggae music would not have been inscribed. And at the end of it all the officials on the platform, they were down in the crowd, and we were singing One Love. And that was a great achievement for the music. I remember I've had to go to Spain and to Italy to speak to the governments in those countries to allow Rotterdam Sunsplash to continue in those countries. I had to go and make representation on their behalf because there was this issue about marijuana and what it signaled. But I'm sure most persons in here have experienced Rotterdam. And it is, when you look at the thousands of people from all nations that attend that festival, it really underscores the power of the music. But it's one thing to have a music that has impacted on the world. But how are the individuals in the music benefiting? Are you taking care of yourself in the business of the music? I have had to, many times, organize funerals for pioneer artists who have been known and toured the world, and yet on their passing, they can't even, the funds can't be found by their family to cover their funeral cost. And not only that, they have their titles in dispute because they signed several contracts for the same song with different publishers. Or they have not looked after their business sufficiently, that when they pass, their estate is left there unresolved. As we speak, there's a long list of artists whose estate is sitting with the Administrator General of Jamaica because the matters there are in dispute. Families break up, families at each other that sometimes they can't even organize a funeral. So, I'm trying to say to my brothers and sisters in the industry, in Jamaica, that you have to get your act together. You may be popular, you have some hit songs, and sometimes you have a hit song where it's not really a hit song. It's a song that a limited number of people know, and you think it's a big hit. But the world is a stage, and there is so much more that you can benefit. Every time we have sessions like these, because I don't know if Gillian has arrived, who is head of entertainment in my ministry, Gillian, and John Archibald, who arrived with me, is the head of culture and creative industries. And we have planned many workshops every reggae month. Estate planning, how you manage your money, how you ensure you protect your titles, how you must make sure you're part of a performance rights society. And a lot of occasions, they don't turn up. In this room, we have a lot of visitors to Jamaica, a lot of persons who have come here to contribute, to teach, to impart knowledge. How many of the local music industry is in this room to benefit from the great offerings that are being made by this conference? How many, Shaggy? 1 and 2. When there are hundreds of records being produced every day, everybody is a writer. Everybody is a dancer. For every music we have a dance to go with it. And even our dance or choreography has to be protected. So, I want us to see how the private sector, the industry, and government can work together to ensure that we bring more people on board to understand the business and how we can get organized sufficiently that we can benefit from our creative works. Recently, I sent a team to Womex. And they came back. Judith was a part of that team. And when they came back, they said to me, one of the complaints that they had, well, not just one, but among the complaints, one, our artists will demand exorbitant fees. Two, they travel with a, excuse the term, a bagger man. Three, there are no shows or they come late. And what was the fourth? Judith? Can't remember. But if we can overcome those things, and there are those Jamaican artists who are professionals, 100%. But there are those who give the music a bad name by those things. And some of those who travel with a bagger man are people who have such great potential. But you have to manage that. I have managed artists who have had my own problems. You know, you want to say, save your money. Don't end up giving away all your money to all the people who walk behind you. Or don't, if you travel in a limousine, you're signed to a label, and you travel in a limousine every day for 2-3 weeks, it's gonna cost, because it's gonna come back out of your royalties if the company is paying. So we have to work together to continue to educate the sector and the people in the sector. We have to work together to build capacity. Now, I've not been able to attend the sessions, but I understand occasions that the government has been bashed. Am I right? What the government doing and what the government not doing. Am I correct? Yes. But I would say that you have a voice at the table, and whatever we're not doing, we're doing much more than has ever been done in the history of the music in this country. Me and my team, we work day and night. And I'll tell you, even those who come and say government not doing anything, if them head hurt them call me. Trust me. And I have been able to establish a kind of relationship with, for example, the U.S. Embassy. The U.S. Embassy not going to do me a favor and give somebody a visa, because I can't say that. But what I know, they will listen. And they will put in that extra effort to facilitate an interview and to look objectively if that person deserves to be reconsidered. So I serve my purpose, but you can't separate me as industry from government. So if I do good, government does good. And if I'm limited in what I can do, it's not because I don't want to do it, but it's because there are limitations. Recently, I announced that we are establishing an insurance plan for the sector. In sports, which I call physical culture, we have an insurance program. And that insurance program covers athletes of all disciplines who have represented Jamaica internationally and nationally. And the insurance plan, it covers life, it covers health, it covers dental, it covers maternity, it covers just about all areas, including mental health. and our athletes have benefited, and their families. If something should happen and an athlete dies, the family benefits with a large sum. I'm introducing that program for the music and culture sector. So we recently signed an agreement with a company that is doing the terms of reference, right, Gillian, and working out the details. And we have given them 6 months to do that. And then they'll come back to us. And I'm hoping to get this insurance plan up and running. We celebrate the 60th anniversary of Jamaica's independence, 60 years. It's a year-long celebration. The celebration started officially in August last year, and it ends officially in August on our 61st birthday. And so we're doing a lot of things during this one-year celebration period to not just to celebrate in music and dance, but to do things that are legacy projects to mark our 60th. And this is one of the legacy projects that we're introducing for the 60th. So, they say you give a politician a mic, and the politician doesn't know to stop. So, I don't know if you want me to do my official remarks, or you want to just, for me to stop and you ask questions. You can decide. Go ahead. Questions, okay. All right, so who is going to? Shaggy, you will join me and manage this thing?
I think, Minister,
for Shaggy, man.
First of all, let me thank the Honourable Minister for being here. Please give her a round of applause. And as much as I'm saying the Honourable Minister, I call her Babsy, I call her Auntie Babsy, because Babsy has been in this game for a very, very long time. Okay? And when she says that people might have criticism about the government, but them say not Babsy, she's not like she telling, because every artist here has had some encounter with Babsy where Babsy has come to the rescue on several occasions. And I know personally, when she talk about setting up funerals for artists and doing all of them things, that these things do happen. And I myself have had a few GoFundMes that you have to support. And I think there's a lot of question in the audience that people want to know. And this is just a discussion for us to at least have the conversation and see how best we can move it forward in creating different entities to help the industry, much like what they have, yes. Much like what they have in the States, whether it be APTRA, the things that deal with provide the health benefits or stuff like that. I'm sure there's a lot of questions in here from personnels who would like to ask about those ideas or even offer ideas themselves. This is a discussion, ladies and gentlemen. We'll open the floor to you guys, all right? Minister. Any question? That there's Mr. Chris Darin from Red TV. Chris. Yeah, you know Mr. Darin from DP&G, famously. Yeah, he doesn't like to stand to let people see him.
And budding musician.
And musician, Papa CD. Yes, great musician also.
Minister, very often when I address ministers of government on the topic of their portfolio, you're usually addressing somebody that the subject matter is not their expertise. You are probably the only minister that this is your expertise. So that gives us a great deal of comfort, it does. But there is a comment that I want to make, or a suggestion.
Yes.
The first day of this conference, which has been redubbed YouTube Day, because it was just it was a university of the new digital society that we have moved into, and that we are probably a tiny fraction of in terms of earnings. YouTube told us on Wednesday that it was 6 billion US they paid out. I want to know what percentage of that Jamaica got. And what percentage your ministry can help to galvanize us to get and to grow in the future. That's how we should be thinking. Mm-hmm. And to that point, when you said that you organized in the past, you and Joan and everybody organized conferences and nobody turns up, I take the view that when a student isn't doing well, you don't blame the student, you blame the teacher. So I would say to you, if you can mobilize at least those areas within government that have the ability to galvanize that kind of participation, heart. They're training people. What are they training them in? Because if they're not training them in the digital society and YouTube and those kind of things, we're missing that boat. The Ministry of Education, schools, galvanizing them to come. There was one school today, Campion College. But where are all the other schools? They should be fighting to get in here. I had a really interesting conversation with somebody. It's a suggestion.
It's a discussion.
It's a discussion. So I wanted, if you can do that, at least that part, get everything under the government side of the operation involved, getting the students here, but no matter what age, then I think we'll go a long way. And we set the targets, and your ministry should set those targets and be measured based on those targets.
Thanks for your comment. Now, let me tell you something you don't know. Last year, we introduced the Jamaica Creative Expo. And we brought young people from sixth form and tertiary institutions. And we brought over 1,500 young people. At the end of that expo, we set the date for the second expo. And this conference was scheduled for the same time, and so the dates clash. I would have wanted this audience to have been introduced to the program that we did yesterday with all these young people. And I would have wanted those young people to have experienced what was being presented here. But because there was a clash, we couldn't share knowledge. Now, the Jamaica Creative Unit in my ministry, it represents the Entertainment, Culture, and Creative Industries Council. And the short name, brand name, is Jamaica Creative. And that entity was created to bring together private sector and the different ministries, departments, and agencies in government where different aspects of the music or the industry exists. For example, the Jamaica Intellectual Property Office is in the Ministry of Industry and Commerce. JAMPRO, which markets the industry sectors, is in the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce. The Edna Manley College, which trains in the various art form, is under the Ministry of Education. HEART, which trains at the sort of practical level, is under the Office of the Prime Minister. The Cultural and Production Training Center, which is an entity where the little youth on the corner who take up a video and shoot can go there and be certified, is under my ministry. The Jamaica Business Development Corporation, where they do training, and we have a partnership with them where we pay for the training and they do the training in the arts, in fashion, in culinary, in many areas. That's under, Chilean, what's that under again? Industry and Commerce. Film, my ministry is the developmental ministry for film. But at JAMPRO, the film license is issued by JAMPRO. But if you want to get something done in film, you have to come to the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment, and Sport. So it's fragmented. And the council, the Jamaica Creative Council, was created to bring all those entities together under one umbrella so we can work in a joined-up way. The Jamaica Creative Council is about to be up and running fully by the appointment of persons from the different sectors, different MDAs, as well as private sector in government, so we can have that body that we have a more coordinated approach. And if we're able to do that, with that, if we get people who really, because what happens sometimes, they appoint people to boards and they don't turn up. That's a problem. People say, I want to serve, I want to do this for the industry and so on. And they don't come to meetings. We have in here the chairman of the Entertainment Advisory Board, which falls under my responsibility. And many times, Howard and I have to review the list, and I have to take to cabinet a list of persons who I will have to remove because they don't come to meetings. And then those who express an interest who are not on the boards, to get cabinet to approve them sitting on the board. I don't know how many persons are present here now from the Entertainment Advisory Board. But those from the Advisory Board, if you could just stand, let me see how many of you are here. From the Entertainment Advisory Board. Nadine, Joe, Howard, Gillian. Gillian, you can stand. So, even the Entertainment Advisory Board isn't present here, and they should be. They should be. No.
The chairman is here, though. The chairman is here, Minister.
No,
Make sure.
but that's not good enough, because if we can't come to an event that is seriously dealing with the business of the music and the development of the music, we're not serious. I'm only just coming because I had several other things clashing with the conference.
And because you love me and you want me to come here.
Of course, you know that different, right? So Sharon and I and Judith, we have discussed, Shaggy, how we're going to, for next Reggae Month,
Yeah.
schedule the activities so we don't clash and we can work more closely together going forward. Right, Sharon?
Absolutely.
Right. And everybody must know Sharon is my protege. Right? She's my product. And she's more Babsy than Babsy.
And she's a babysitter to me, the babysitter part.
Yes, she used to babysit Carly Davis babies. When she was a little baby, right? But I'm so proud of her, so proud of her. And she and Judith Badley make a great team. And I'm telling you truthfully, sometimes we clash.
Yeah.
But Jamaicans love clash, right?
Right. Well, it's good that we can, have this discussion, and that is what it is about for us to have discussion about it, figure out how we can get together and work together as one from different entities. Any other question? Okay, what do you the mic thing them?
Yeah. You can hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. My name is Carl Kaiser, and I'm coming to Jamaica for 30 years now.
Up there, sir.
And I spent...
I would ask, sorry, I'd ask if you stand because these lights are
Okay.
direct to us, so we can't see past it. So if you stand, it really helps, please, all right? Go ahead, boss.
Yes, my name is Carl Kaiser. I'm coming to Jamaica like 30 years now, and I attend many festivals. And you mentioned the Rotterdam Festival, which is one of the most beautiful festivals in Europe. And what I realize is, and that makes me very sad in Jamaica, people, like general people, who spend pretty much money of like 10,000 grand for a ticket, they cannot go in front of the stage because the audience is divided by fences, VIP and general. So the music is about unity, but on a venue, on a festival, the society, the audience is divided. So that could be organized in a different way. I know the financial thing for event organizers, but yeah, that's really strange to somebody from abroad. And I just wanted to express that. Thanks.
Now, can I say something, Bossy? Just as a concert promoter myself for the Shaggy and Friends, when you're talking about the barricades, yes, in other festivals, it is more open and more of a unity vibe. I've been to Rotterdam myself. But let me tell you about Jamaican people. See? When we were doing Shaggy and Friends, me and my team, Sharon and the whole, I would sit down and I would say, boy, we don't want to make the ticket them so dear because I want all people to come. I want to drop down the ticket, you know. And we argue about it and I say, yes, but this is a charity, 100% of it goes to it. People must understand say, what they're doing till we change it from price to donation. We try and change the word a little bit. So you're not paying for your ticket, you're really making a donation. And with Jamaican people like this, if you tell them, say over there, so don't touch the light, everybody want to go touch the light, right? So if you say, I dare you, them are going to take the dare. That is just how Jamaicans are. No, when we make the ticket really low, and we go, so we put the other ticket them now, you know which ticket sell out first? The most expensive one. So much that when the expensive one is finished and the people them come to buy the expensive ticket and we say, yeah, platinum sell off. I'm going to have gold. When I look like, I look like platinum person. What you talk about, you give me gold. Meaning I'm a gold thing with you, you know. You better find more platinum. See? And they argue with you because they do not want to be in silver. You know? So, and the people who have the platinum now, if you ever make the silver people them go into the platinum say, this may pay platinum for. Eh? I have seen on situation at Shaggy and Friends where we were all inclusive in the sense of where we're giving lamb chops and lobster, right? In the platinum section. And people come and say, my lamb chops did cold. And this may pay my money for. Now, when you look at the equivalent, say them pay about $100, $120, whatever the ticket was at that time when we did it. When them go American Airlines, some of these people, when them go American Airlines, go watch out some show, that $150 the ticket there, nosebleed that, you know. And a hot dog, them I go buy. Yes, not even for $100, but for the same amount of money. But I'm just giving you the mentality of us, or where Jamaicans are. So I get what you're saying. I would love that to be that. But, you know, it is part of our growth and we changing who we are and being a little bit more inclusive.
Yes.
We might not have so much racism, but we certainly have classism, baby. Let me tell you that.
So
that has been a
that's
part of
true,
us from colonial days till now. It's hard for break.
I know that Jamaica is divided by class and color.
Yes.
So why we need that on a reggae venue?
We don't.
festival?
I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing
right.
with you. But
Let's get
I'm
rid of
saying
that.
it is a cultural thing that we need to work on as a society. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just explaining to you from a Jamaican, just for you to understand why it is like that.
Me
You know
know
what I'm
it.
saying?
Me know it.
If
Yes,
I
sir.
could just add, we are different. We are a special people. An event will be free and we jump the fence.
All right, next question, sir. Yes.
Hello, hello. Thank you, Minister, for your comments. I got a chance to meet you briefly the other day, and I didn't get to explain to you who I am. My name is Diego Herrera. I work for Pandora Media, and I'm here invited by the IMC to be part of one of the panels earlier in this week. I was actually very interested in your comment earlier about saying that you had a chance to connect with the U.S. Embassy and the issue about visas and whatnot. In the past, I've actually written on behalf of artists as well to see if I can help with the process of getting them a visa. And I'm just curious if you have suggestions from those of us who are from foreign, as to how we can do more to help either with advocacy on our side with the government to assist, with getting artists into the United States and abroad, because one of the big barriers I think for the artists here is that it is not easy for them to get over to the U.S. to tour and get in front of those audiences and build connections there. So.
Babsy, I can tell you this about Babsy. Babsy have fought many of those battles with the embassy. Myself, I've fought a lot of those battles. Sharon and I, when we go down in the embassy and the ambassador house and sit down and eat our dirs and come with a list and name of artists who we are beg for. Right? We have gone through that. It is, to me, one of the main things that has stunted our growth as a culture and as an art form. If you look at the biggest artists them in Jamaica right now, out of reggae and dancehall, most of them cannot travel to the United States. Whether it be Buju, whether it be Bounty, I don't know if Beanie get back for him one. Popcorn can US, Sizzler, I don't just got back him, thank God, it is a problem. And it is something that I would love. I've been talking to other peoples, obviously, Archer Marks, who's our ambassador also. It has been a part of the conversation and something that I wish we can tackle a lot more with the government. And of course, Babsy, I know you have some words to say on that.
All right, I'd like to add to that now. Immigration matters are matters that you cannot dictate to a country what that country's immigration policy should be. And decisions are not taken by just one person willy-nilly. They have guidelines to follow. So in the first place, when I intervene in making an appeal, which they may facilitate or they may not. Over the years, I've had situations where I manage an artist who had to remain in the US because if that artist came to Jamaica, that artist wouldn't get back into the US. So I had to manage that. And then Jamaicans will say, boy, don't make that artist, but I'm not calling the name.
I know who's all right.
But not making that artist perform in Jamaica and hold them a this Jamaica and so on. But if that artist had come to Jamaica, that artist would not have gone back in the States. So we had to deal with the matter in the US and sort it out. On one occasion, that artist was leaving Jamaica, wearing the jacket that he had loaned to his brother, going through immigration and find a spliff in the jacket. And that created a problem. That artist also, Girls Like Dirt, Trailer Load of Girls.
Boy, Babsy is like a old fridge. You can't keep nothing at all, boy.
And, artists like Shaggy and others know that you have a whole heap of women just love you.
I don't know nothing about that. Wasn't me.
And so sometimes you end up in a situation and then you actually get trapped because the girl or the woman going to accuse you of certain things which is not, so it go. Right? And then that is another matter that is taboo in any country. Assault, sexual assault. And therefore, that also creates a problem. And you'll spend lots of money to defend until it's cleared up. Now, the other matter is people's sexuality. Jamaica is a religious country, and Rastafari believes in the Bible. And certain things are said, and from time immemorial, that's how they see things. The world is changing. And some of the things they have said in the past, they wouldn't do it now. But the past is a duppy on them back. Because, and I've been there, done that. They say things and it is documented. And then when they go for a visa, then pull it up, look on the computer, and they deny you the visa.
Good evening, Mr. Price.
So it's not a simple matter to government make representation. In fact, no artist, no Jamaican creative should ever think that the Jamaican government can make them go to the US or prevent them from going to the US. Because the US is very focused on what they're about.
So how can we start that conversation with them, though? That's
The
what I'm saying.
conversation has existed a long time, and it has been ongoing.
And how far are we in the conversation?
You can't, let me tell you how far we are.
Is there a level we can say which part is there?
Individual cases. Man.
Okay. All right.
It boils down to the individual and the issues. I'll give you an example. Some years ago, many years ago, there was a particular artist who could not enter the US. And it didn't have anything to do with what him sing about. It had to do about his association and how the circle that he was in, and he was labeled for that. And he was signed to a record company, and I was approached and asked to assist. And I would say it took me 2 years. But how I was able to break through is that I continued that conversation with the US Embassy. And in fact, had an arrangement with the US Embassy where I would go in and I'd speak to the officers who do the interviews and then tell them the nuances of Jamaica and so on. And even was able to get them to agree at that time the Jamaica Federation of Musicians wants a letter endorsing, saying, confirming that that person is a musician or an artist or so, they would, once the interview takes place and they're satisfied, they would give them the visa. And then one has to recognize the difference in terms of visas, the different categories. You have visitor's visa, you have work permit. Your work permit has to be generated from overseas. A lot of people don't know that, right? And eventually, I was able to get, in fact, they said to me, come in and bring the artists in with you. We want to have a talk. And I went in, and this is like quite a few years ago. And we sat down, and the chief said to the artist, we're going to recommend, because it would have involved a waiver and all of that. And I'm doing it because of the effort that has been made. And we have looked at your case. But do not let down Babsy Grange. At that time, I wasn't even a minister. Right? And there are other cases, even recently, that I've been able to deal with. But it takes time. It takes time. So what I want to say is this. As times change, you have to know what you say in an interview. You have to know what to sing about, because homophobic comments will work against you. And you have to know the company you keep, because that will also work against you. I mean, I have to deal with the good, the bad, and the ugly. As a member of parliament, I have to, and I have one of the most, how do I call Spanish Town? One of the most difficult constituencies, but I get along with everybody. And in fact, my influence has, to a great extent, impacted on the reduction of crime and antisocial behavior in Spanish Town. But there are some realities that we have to face. I know there are artists who have issues with their US visa. And there are some of them that I'm working on. And some, after you do certain things, you just have to wait. Because if they feel you're pushing them and you're demanding and so on, you get resistance. But my grandmother used to tell me, if you're certain about the results, you can afford to wait. Because time is a master. And there may be persons in this room that one day will remember that I said that. Now, the other thing is this. Although the US is a great place, the US is not the world. Excuse me for saying that.
No, you're absolutely right.
But the continent of
You're absolutely
Africa
right. Yes.
is populated. People are there. We are building strong bonds with the countries on the continent of Africa. You can work those markets in the meantime.
But there's also treaties with the U.S. Like normally, if you get a U.S. visa, then the Canadian and the English. There's those treaties. So it becomes a problem.
It's easier to manage.
Yeah.
The reason why it's easier to manage is as we sign bilateral agreements with these countries, we can negotiate.
So it's a part of leverage at that point.
We can leverage
it at that point.
leverage
Okay.
that.
So the main thing that you're saying from the message is that at this point also is that with all of the artists, careful of the company and keep what you want to say, right? If you don't want a US visa, if you don't care about the US visa, there's anything you don't want to say then, right?
Yeah. Because,
but don't stop your money, because I will put money to America.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I'm getting the signal from the side, so I don't want to wrap up.
Okay. Yes.
I'm taking the one last question, Judy, from that lady up here. Please give her a mic, because she's been standing the whole time. And I know her foot must have hurt her. But Gara Mike, she's been waiting. She's an attorney, so she come in with one of them attorney.
Is that John, Elizabeth?
Where your mic? Gara the mic for me, yeah.
Yes, it is, and I don't know why Shaggy would lead with that. Yes, it is, Mr. Grange. Always
Yes.
pleasure to see you, and I thank you. I
And the
appreciate
two minutes you wear
you.
comfortable shoes, man, so your foot never
I
there.
appreciate you for giving me the question because I know time is short. Minister Grange, I want to encourage you, please, to not give up that fight with immigration. It is something that has to change. We all know that it's a masked colonization. We all know that the damage that it's doing to our artists can't stop. Freedom of movement is a human right. And I really think that you've already given us the solution today. You actually mentioned it in terms of you being able to work closer with the industry. I think it's a merger of a you and a Shaggy putting out that bigger, compassionate argument to the world, because there are many people around the world that love us, and I think that if the Germans recognize that the reason that we're no longer on any of the festivals in Europe is because our people can't travel, if they realize that we're not like them, we can't just go and work at a restaurant and buy a ticket and come, like how they come here and learn how to dance from us. If they realize the imbalance that exists, people will want to rise up and help us because people love Jamaica. So maybe we just need to work together, as you say, and figure out how to really bridge that and change what's happening, because you're right, it takes the patience, but the change can come. My question to you on that same point, bringing in the industry, bringing in the people, as you know, I am now part-time diaspora. But there are more of us Jamaicans outside of Jamaica than in Jamaica, they say. So how are we also going to make sure that the music industry takes advantage of that, of all the me's and all of the other ones here, all the you that are around the world wanting to tap in and leverage, as Chairman Shaggy has been saying, and I wholeheartedly agree with, leverage Jamaica and let us be able to do more. Thank you.
So the question is how we're going to leverage
Diaspora.
the diaspora.
Connect, pull us in more for us, because we're here wanting to help and do more.
Well, I think we, from the ministry side, have been doing a lot in relation to the everything we do, we stream to the diaspora. Everything we do, we work through the embassies, the missions, and the consulates. And our footprint and platform is expanding. I think that if there is a more joined-up approach between the Shaggies and the Babsies, the information will flow that much stronger, because there are things that we are doing that you don't know sufficiently about. And with your involvement and support, we will get stronger and wider and deeper in penetrating. Because we do have a framework. We do have a lot we're offering Gillian, right? And we're working very hard. Let's put it this way. We're not working normally the way governments work. Because my headspace is working like private sector and government. But we have our limitations in that there are certain rules, there are certain guidelines we have to follow. I mean, I would want something to happen overnight, but Gillian, who is a technocrat, have to make sure the paperwork is okay. And it will take a little time. A PS has to sign off on things and so on. But if we work as a team, trust me, sometimes I feel like Gregory Isaacs would say, one man against the world. Sometimes I feel like that working in government, and you all don't understand what I go through, right? Sports, which I call physical culture. We have made a major breakthrough with the embassy in dealing with our athletes traveling. Major. To the extent that we discuss when we would schedule interviews and how we manage a process so the embassy is not overwhelmed by the numbers. So the door is open. But we got to tidy up some little things as a sector so that we can further penetrate and impact the system and make others understand we don't want to leave Jamaica to go live in a them country. We want to just continue to spread love that the music has to offer.
Thank you to Minister Grange, the Honourable. We're out of time, unfortunately. We're very much, Judy's over there with an axe telling me that.
She said she can't take it.
You can't take two more? No.
No? Oh.
That's it. Oh, God, sorry.
All right, I thank you so much for listening to me. I hope I didn't talk too much. Thank you so much.